Before there were microscopes, before there were test tubes, a man walked along the shore of the Aegean Sea, carrying nothing but a pen and an infinite curiosity. His name was Aristotle, and in his hands nature became the first book humanity ever truly read. Every morning he wandered the beaches of Lesbos, recording every motion of life. An octopus shifting color, a fish hiding beneath the sand, a bird soaring against the wind. To most, these were just scenes of nature. To Aristotle, they were data. He documented over 500 species, studying their anatomy, their habits, even their reproduction. With a small blade, he dissected fish under the sunlight, searching for the invisible laws that governed life without any tools, but his eyes and his reason. One thing set him apart. He didn't just observe, he listened to nature speak. Every movement carried meaning, every form a purpose. He called it telos, the natural end toward which every living being strives. But in his time, observation was considered inferior. Other philosophers spoke of ideas, not animals, of the heavens, not the mud of the shore. Aristotle was called too worldly, yet from the soil and sea he studied, the first science con was born. 2,000 years later, when scientists peered through microscopes, they found something astonishing. Much of what Aristotle had written was true. He had been a walking laboratory, centuries before laboratories existed. Imagine a genius who believed that a heart, not the brain, was the seat of thought. It sounds absurd now, but hidden inside that error lay wisdom far ahead of his age. Aristotle studied the body with his hands, not theories. He dissected animals, traced the flow of blood, and saw the heart always beating, hot, alive, restless. The brain? Cold, still, silent. To him, whatever pulsed with life must also think. He was wrong by modern standards, but his thought was not a mistake. It was the first step toward truth, because without the courage to guess, humanity could never discover. In a time without microscopes, without cell theory, without modern anatomy, Aristotle worked in a fog of ignorance armed only with curiosity. And he knew one thing: nature reveals her secrets only to those who observe deeply. Now we know the heart is just a pump, but his idea that life has a center of purpose, something that drives all existence, still inspires biology, psychology, even ethics. His errors were not failures, they were foundations. Before laboratories, the sea was humanity's first classroom, and Aristotle made it the grandest school of all. On Lesbos, he stood at the water's edge, listening to the whispering waves. He wrote of stingrays that could give birth without males, of sponges that were neither plant nor animal, and of whales, mammals of the sea, centuries before anyone else understood it. For Aristotle, every bubble was a secret of life. He wrote, "Nature does nothing in vain." That line became the heart of the teleological biology, the belief that behind the seeming chaos of life lies a hidden order. But the world of his time was not ready to hear that fish. Insects and humans obeyed the same laws. He was mocked, ridiculed, even accused of impiety for putting nature above myth. Centuries later, evolution, embryology, and zoology would all echo his conviction. Observe, don't assume. And the waters of Lesbos, his open-air lab, became known as the birthplace of biology. No doctors, no sterile scalpels, only a philosopher with a small knife, trying to understand life through the anatomy of death. Aristotle held the body of a fish in his bare hands, cutting gently, naming organs one by one. He found patterns, structures, movements, harmony. He began to see that a body wasn't just flesh, but a system that spoke a language of order. He was the first to describe blood vessels in marine animals. He wrote about the heart's heat, about lungs cooling the blood, about organs serving purposes. Each line of his notes was poetry disguised as science. Many accused him of desecration, a philosopher, cutting animals instead of discussing ideals. But Aristotle knew, ideas without experience are only shadows on a cave wall. Today, every anatomical chart, every tissue slide beneath a microscope, echoes his first act of courage, opening a body, not to kill, but to de-understand life. How could a man who studied birds and fish also invent logic? Because to Aristotle, nature and reason were two sides of the same truth. Every movement in nature had a pattern, and he saw that same pattern in human thought. He learned from the order of the natural world how to order the mind itself. He concluded, as birds build nests from twigs, the human mind builds logic from experience. Thus, formal logic was born, not from abstract dreams, but from the dust and rhythm of life itself. While others dreamed of the world of ideas, Aristotle wrote of the world as it is, And for him, reality was far more divine than illusion. From his study of animals grew the foundations of logic, ethics, and science, all rooted in one act, seeing nature as it truly is. To most, nature is a place of rest. To Aristotle, it was a teacher that never stopped speaking. He believed that every falling leaf, every drifting cloud, was a fragment of the cosmos whispering wisdom. He wrote that true knowledge begins not with memory, but with wonder. Standing in a forest, he watched bees build hives. To him, their work was not instinct, but a lesson in cooperation and order. Every creature was a page in the book of life's harmony. People laughed. They said nature was chaotic, without plan. But Aristotle knew. Behind chaos lies order waiting to be found. Centuries later, ecology, symbiosis, and evolution would prove him right, repeating his oldest lesson: nature always knows more than man. In his age, people believed lightning was the wrath of gods, disease was sent by spirits, and stars were living beings watching the earth. Then came Aristotle, who dared to say, perhaps it is not the gods who speak, but nature. He lived in a world ruled by superstition. Everything from storms to birth was explained by myth, but he refused to accept belief without proof. He wanted to know why water evaporates, how rain falls, what makes the earth turn. He wrote Meteorologica, the first scientific treatise on weather. He explained clouds, thunder, and wind through observation, not prayer. For the first time, mankind looked at the sky not to worship, but to understand. Other philosophers called him arrogant. How dare a man interpret the will of the gods? They cried, but Aristotle smiled. To him, seeking knowledge was not defiance of the divine. It was the highest form of reverence. From Newton to Darwin, every scientist followed that same path, replacing myth with method. And it all began with one man brave enough to say, let's look for ourselves. Does a horse feel emotion? Does a bird think before it flies? These sound like modern questions. Yet Aristotle asked them 2,000 years ago. In De Anima, he wrote of the soul, not as something mystical, but as the force that allows living things to grow, sense, and think. He divided life into 3 souls: the most nutritive soul of plants, the sensitive soul of animals, and the rational soul of humans. He did not see man as separate from nature, but as part of a vast continuum of life. Humanity to him was not the center of the universe, only one of nature's many expressions of thought. This was radical. To blur the line between human and animal was to defy Greek pride, but Aristotle kept writing, because to understand animals was to him to understand ourselves. Today, behavioral psychology, cognitive biology, and neuroscience still chase the same question. What truly separates man from beast? And as if answering across time, Aristotle whispers back, the soul is the first form of life. Imagine a world without science, and in that silence a man says, nature does nothing in vain. That one sentence shook history. For Aristotle, every part of every being had a purpose. He called it the my final cause, the ultimate reason behind all things. A bird has wings not by chance, but to fly. A root grows downward not by accident, but to seek water. This idea may sound ancient, but from it grew functional biology, anatomical design, and ecosystem theory. He wrote, nature works like a wise craftsman. To him, the world was a living artwork. This set him apart from early materialists, who claimed everything was random. Aristotle refused to believe in a meaningless universe. He chose purpose over chance. And today, as we discover the precision of DNA, the balance of ecosystems, and the elegant laws of physics, his words ring true again. Perhaps nature is not a blind machine. Perhaps it has a logic, one we have only begun to understand. He left no palace, wrote no holy book, built no monuments of stone. Yet from dust, water, and wind, Aristotle built something greater. The way humans understand the world. After his death, his scrolls were scattered, hidden, almost lost. But his ideas lived on, in classrooms, in laboratories, in every mind that dared to ask, why? From his studies of fish came biology. From his syllogisms came philosophy. From his causes came modern science. Galileo, Newton, Darwin, Einstein, they all stood on the ground first, dug by a man from Stagira. The world has changed 1,000 times since. But Aristotle's principle remains. If you wish to understand the universe, do not look first to the heavens. Look down to the earth where life breathes. For there the first truth of humankind was found.